Good evening, I am Tomas Guevara, and this is the channel Rewriting the Reality. My purpose is to help you remember your divinity. Subscribe to this channel to expand your awareness and be informed of the news about the universal consciousness and your own consciousness. In today's episode 112, I am going to explain a few facts about our journey to understand what we call channeling and the power of our beliefs. Channeling has been known for thousands of years. Before, during, and after Jesus' times, there were persons that were called oracles. The word oracle comes from the Latin verb orare. To speak and properly refers to the priest or priestess uttering the prediction. In extended use, oracle may also refer to the site of the oracle, and to the oracular utterances themselves, called tresem in Greek. Oracles were thought to be portals through which the gods spoke directly to people. In this sense, they were different from seers, who interpreted signs sent by the gods through bird signs, animal entrails, and other various methods. The most important oracles of Greek antiquity were Pythia, priestess to Apollo at Delphi, and the oracle of Dion and Zeus at Dodona in Epirus. Other oracles of Apollo were located at Didyma and Malus on the coast of Anatolia, at Corinth and Bassae in the Peloponnese, and at the islands of Delos and Aegina in the Aegean Sea. The Sibylline oracles are a collection of oracular utterances written in Greek hexameters, ascribed to the Sibyls, prophetesses who uttered divine revelations in frenzied states. As I explained before, my Aunt Albertina was a medium and she channeled 3 personalities. She started in 1957, when I was 5 years old, until she died in 2002. There is another good medium or channeler that started a few years later than my aunt. She was Dolores Cannon, born in 1931 in St. Louis, Missouri. In the 1960s, Dolores and her husband, Johnny, were using simple hypnosis for habits, like stopping smoking, losing weight, etc. Dolores was first wrongly introduced to reincarnation in 1968 when she and her husband were asked by one of the doctors at the Naval Base of Texas to help one of his patients using hypnosis. Midway through the session, the woman unexpectedly began describing scenes from a past life where she was a flapper, living in Chicago in the roaring 1920s. Dolores and Johnny watched as the woman literally transformed into a different personality with different vocal patterns and body mannerisms. Despite being highly strange and completely inexplicable, they decided to go with the flow of the session and see what they could find out by exploring. Over the next several months, Dolores and Johnny regressed the woman through 5 different and distinct lifetimes back to when she was created by God. Or so they believed. I explained before there is no reincarnation because time is simultaneous and you have always existed. We are eternal beings. The entire story of this event is told in the first book Dolores ever wrote in 2009 titled, 5 Lives Remembered. Dolores coined the phrase universal consciousness, the one I am using without knowing this fact. I am using universal consciousness because it is the best way to explain the difference between us and consciousness. During the 70s, the best medium emerged, Jane Robert, who channeled Seth, who was literally my first teacher in the late 80s. Seth, using Jane, wrote about 24 books that explain everything. As people, we started the belief that we have our own separate self-consciousness. We did that for the purity of the experience. However, in doing it, we started our limitations and narrow-mindedness. We boxed our perceptions mechanism, which I explained in episodes 5 and 6 and in my 3 books recently published in Amazon.com under my name Tomas Guevara Calderon. Then came Freud and Carl Jung and they complicated the situation by inventing that we have a conscious and a subconscious mind. They complicated the situation because nothing is subconscious, because everything is made of links of consciousness. I explained that in episode number 108 on April 23, 2024. Most people believe the universal consciousness is attained when a person has a lasting experience in which they see through their illusion of separateness and lose their separate self-consciousness. Their consciousness seems to merge with the universe, thus they experience being one with the universe. I say it seems because we are never separate from the universal consciousness. However, this is often seeming to be the result of going through a conscious psychological death experience, brought on by meditation and other aspects of the spiritual path. The illusion of separateness dissolves in the awareness of oneness. And with the dissolution of the illusion of separateness, the separate self seems to die, and a rebirth occurs. Separate self-consciousness is transcended and transformed. The dominant consciousness becomes that of the inner self, the part of us that is the universal spirit, thus, we are the universal consciousness. When experienced properly, a person is never the same, and never sees things the same way again. From then on, all things are understood in the light of the biggest picture, in the light of being one with the universal spirit, that many people think is God. Selfishness thus becomes a thing of the past. This is also called achieving enlightenment, and there are a few other names. This is the nice allegory that people believe to be the truth, but it's not without distortions. The distortions always arise because we want to explain something, and people understand another thing based on their own beliefs. Beliefs are part of our reality, and we only need to accept that they are only beliefs, which are our truths. We trust what we believe. Once we accept that, we transcend the power that our beliefs have over us and we can create more efficiently and see all the choices we have. We must be alert because hundreds of people are using YouTube to expand the power of our beliefs. I recommend joining this channel and watching the last 4 episodes 108, 109, 110 and 111. Here I am explaining the damage that our psychology is doing, the meaning of life and more. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel to be well informed.